It's everybody's favorite night. It is Mock Royal Rumble night here at A2D Radio. We've got Seth Rollins' injury. We've got the Mock Royal Rumble. Here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of In This Very Ring, right here live on A2D Radio. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I am the man known as Ritz. Joining me, as he does each and every Friday night, the mayor of Toasty Town. Butters.
Really?
Yes.
I could have done a decent high or good intro this time, but you just decided to go my route and go Butters.
Yes, because you have let me down countless times. Also joining us, as he does each and every Friday night, shut up, as he does each and every Friday night, the OGP, the only Pete Evans that matters in the entire world. He's the co-host of Birds of a Feather, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pete Evans.
Once again, I grace thee with my presence. I bid you a good day and salutations, my dear gentlemen.
Who are you and what'd you do with Pete?
For now, I will be called Sir Peter Regal. Without the drinking habits.
Oh, God. All right. This episode of In This Very Ring is brought to you by our friends at Allen's Travel. Allen's Travel specializes in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney Universal or wherever your heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts, including yours truly, create a custom vacation for you without any of the stress. Allen's on over to allensy-travel.com/take the trip to get in touch with myself, Chuck Moranin, or any of the other talented travel agents that we have over at Allen's Travel. All right, boys, it's going to be a fun one tonight. Butters is probably going to say at least 5 things that are dumb. What's the over-under on that?
At least 5?
I'm taking the over. If the number is 5, I got over.
That may be a good bet.
That might be a great bet. We are going to do Mock Royal Rumble conversations. We're going to go through the both the men's and the women's Rumble. Kind of give a very broad stroke view of who we think's in the Rumble, where we think people are going to come out, our MVP, our Iron Man, Iron Woman, different things like that throughout the course of the show. We will also be talking about Seth Rollins' injury. There was a conversation, actually, it was an internal conversation with myself today of if we should start with that. No, hold on. There's reasons why. And part of me said, no, not yet, because everything we have is just reports. Nothing that we have is absolute concrete from WWE or Seth Rollins. That information will come Monday, as he is expected to address that after being evaluated this week and this weekend. So I figured, let's keep things, again, we're going very broad stroke here. Mm-hmm. And so our topic of conversation brought to you by our friends at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Someone from Raw will win both the men's and women's Royal Rumble. And I phrased it this way because the Seth Rollins injury or report of Seth Rollins injury really, at least in my head, really changes the dynamic of how these next weeks go leading up to WrestleMania, right? Are they going to take a route of, here's a definitive opponent for Seth, we don't have to worry about building this or booking this because Seth's going to be out and injured? Or do they go the route of, we're still going to have someone to face Roman? This is a way for Cody to get to Roman, I should say. Okay? So, Pete, we'll start with you. someone from Raw will win both the men's and women's Royal Rumble.
Disagree. Easy. Okay. Easy. Yeah, no.
Why?
I think the men's winner comes from Raw. Because at that point, you just can't duck it. However, I think the women's winner comes from SmackDown. And because kind of you can already see they planted that seed of Becky Rhea getting to that point at Mania outside of Rumble. Right. So I think you can get there. And that's also what I don't think they'll use the chamber, which they announced starts at 5 a.m. Next month.
I'm sorry. I got to get up at 4 to watch it. I don't want to hear you whine.
Well,
like we're literally going to do a show.
Central Standard Time Zone always is a benefit now, isn't it?
You and like the three of us will literally do a show that night. I'm going to try to go straight to bed because the Rumble's like 4 hours later at that point.
You mean
not the Rumble?
Chamber? I mean, whatever.
You should be used to being stuck in chambers at 4 o'clock in the morning. Too easy. Yes.
Whoa! That's it.
Close your mouth.
We're done.
This is not a command.
Wow.
Damn.
Okay, so
6 minutes into the show too.
Continue.
No. So
and you thought I would.
I definitely think the women's winner comes from SmackDown because Rhea won it last year and she was on Raw, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's even though stuff like that doesn't play a part into it, I just think the way where the stories are where they are right now with women in the overall title, I think they're leaning more towards one way versus the other. And sometimes these rumors could be true, and you can kind of know what the rumors are. Like we already know kind of what the Raw's Men's World Heavyweight Championship main event is looking like, and I'm not mad at it. It's just let's see how it plays out to get there. So yeah, I think that for me this was the easy one. This was the easy disagree for me.
Okay, Butters.
I'm going to disagree.
You're choking. That's what you are.
He's on one tonight. Let's just go.
Right. About time. No, I'm gonna disagree with the poll. You know, it's gonna be somebody from. It's gonna be to Pete's point, the men's Rumble is gonna be Raw. The women's Rumble being SmackDown. With it being Bayley winning the women's Royal Rumble, more than likely CM Punk winning the Raw Royal Rumble because you're gonna get Seth versus Punk at Mania unless he has to give up a title. At which point you will more than likely get, in my eyes, Drew versus Punk. They've already kind of set up those little seeds. You know, last week, and you can get there. You can have, Seth drop the title Monday. Damian come out, give his briefcase for the title. You have Drew win it at Chamber. And then you have Punk challenge Drew for the title at Mania. You can have Cody challenge Roman or Rock challenge Roman, and you have that match. You have Bayley challenge Io after, getting kicked out of Damage Control. You have Bayley challenge Io for the title. They've already set the seeds for Rhea Becky, so you don't have to worry about that one. You've automatically got that locked in. You've already pretty much said, hey, this is what is happening. So at the end of the day, I'm going to disagree with the poll.
So for argument's sake, I'm going to agree with the poll.
Okay.
The men's side, it's like we've talked about, regardless whether it's Punk or Rhodes, from the men's side, it comes from Raw. And I really do think whatever Seth comes out and says Monday, because let's just call it what it is, right? Mm-hmm. He's got a torn MCL and a separated meniscus.
Partially torn meniscus.
So however that's going to look, whatever he was told by doctors this week, whatever he was told, whatever he's going to be told over the weekend, things of that nature. Because I don't think that if he drops the title, I don't think you need to have Punk win the Rumble. And let's be very clear. This is huge that it would happen 5 days before the Royal Rumble. You're going to have Seth Rollins walk out 5 days before you really start WrestleMania season, and there is a scenario where he does drop the title.
Mhm.
I don't think he does. I think he just says, I have this problem. I'm going to walk away. I'll be back before Mania, this, that, and the other thing. Or he just says, yeah, it hurts, but I'm going to fight through it because of this, that. Like, there are 3 different ways that this can go.
Mhm.
Okay. So on that, I don't think you need to have somebody like CM Punk win the Royal Rumble, because you can get to Drew Punk without it. What you can't do is, let's assume for a second, because the reports have come out that Roman is not working Elimination Chamber. Okay. Let's
Fancy.
assume for a second that it's Roman Rock at WrestleMania. What is to say? Because there have been conversations that it's Roman, Rock, Cody in a triple threat, and I think that's atrocious. I think that's god awful. I think that ruins both the Cody story and the Rock story.
Agreed.
I think it's horrendous.
Yeah.
But what if? And again, I'll play devil's advocate here, right? To some extent, if Punk drops the title, what's to say The Rock doesn't win the Royal Rumble? Rock's like number 30. Comes out there and is involved in like the final 5 or 6.
But I don't want back-to-back 30 winners.
I don't either. But if that's how you're going to get me Rock Roman at Mania without Cody Rhodes being involved, then I will bite the bullet and I'll take that one. If you can't, because you can't get to Cody Roman if Rock Roman isn't happening at Elimination Chamber. You can't do it.
I vehemently disagree. Here's the thing. If this was the Vince era, yes. Where shit like it centers around the title. But with Trips, I don't like, you've seen stories carry weight and there's no strap, there's no leather, there's no gold, there's no diamonds involved. And I think Rock versus Roman
doesn't need it. I have been screaming that for 2 years. However, the problem that we run into right now is if Roman doesn't work Elimination Chamber, it becomes Roman Rock at WrestleMania.
Now,
and hold on, give me just a second. And Roman will still have the title unless he drops it.
Yeah, he has to drop it Saturday.
I was about to say he's got to drop it Saturday. And you can do Orton. He has to drop it Saturday. This way, now the title can be defended at Elimination Chamber, or you can have your number 1 contender to Chamber, and you still get to Rock Roman at Mania without the title.
Completely fair. For about 2 minutes, I totally forgot that fatal 4-way match was happening. Like through my rant and my conversation, that the idea that he's defending the title at Royal Rumble never once crossed my mind.
Even though we just had SmackDown signing.
Yep. And it's not that I'm not interested in the story.
I thought I said dumb shit.
Well, no. It's not that I'm not interested in the story. There are just so many other things that, to Pete's point, right? That title almost doesn't matter.
Sadly,
in a weird kind of backwards way, that belt doesn't matter right now for the storylines that we're looking at. The belt's going to matter if Roman does lose the title.
Mm-hmm.
And it is becoming Cody Orton. Right? But as of right now, and again, you got to play devil's advocate for half a second. right?
Mm-hmm.
And say that it's just he's not losing. Right? Assume for a second he doesn't lose.
As much as I don't want to, you know.
I don't want him to win, right? But assume for a second he doesn't lose.
Correct.
Because that's commonplace for his run right now. And that's the scariest part is you have the makings of a match, of a great match with two incredible athletes and two incredible draws in Rock and Roman. You do not need the title for it.
You've never needed the title for that match.
No.
Ever. Which is why, you know, I hope this Sunday he drops it. I don't care, you know, well, I kind of do care because Orton would be a better storyline if you have Cody win the Rumble. And it'd be the only one that made more sense because if you really wanted to make a star out of LA Knight through Roman, you'd want to do that in a singles match. So since we're doing it in a fatal four-way, it's just easier to pin either AJ or Knight.
I think AJ, if anything here, and we'll obviously as the next weeks progress and we do our preview next week and our live reaction and everything like that nature, I think we'll dive a little bit more into it. But I think to piggyback off what you're saying right there, I think the logical choice here is AJ takes the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Orton pins AJ.
He's the one that makes the most sense.
Because LA will go off to
United States title.
The United States title route. Okay. And I think AJ is the problem child for Randy from now to Chamber. You with me still, Pete?
I'm listening.
You look kind of lost for half a second.
No, I'm listening. You have my full attention. I'm trying to process what you're saying.
Fair enough. So I think AJ becomes a problem child until you get to Chamber, and then they go into full Cody and Orton, and you have Rock and Roman, and you have in a perfect world Punk and Seth, or Punk and Drew coming out of Chamber, next month.
I mean, you pretty much got the big three top matches for the men's down, and now it just comes down to the women.
Right, and I think,
but to everybody's point here, we've kind of all got that one down in a way since Monday showed us, Becky Rhea, and then of course Io Bailey at Mania is the total sense maker for both the women's top matches.
There's a part of me that doesn't have Bailey winning the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, again, I said I agree to the poll question, right? So there's a small part of me that says Becky wins the Royal Rumble, goes against Rhea, and that match is locked. Right. The other side of me, with the SmackDown side, is Bianca, Bailey, Io at WrestleMania. Bailey pins Bianca, wins the title, and that's how she ends up out of Damage Control. I think WrestleMania, we see that fall apart. I don't think that they're going to do that ahead of time.
But there was, I don't know how true this is. Obviously, this is dirt sheet.
Hey guys, for the record, we will get to the comments in just a minute. I see everybody over there. We'll get to them. We'll go back through.
But it's been known that Bailey has never had a singles match at Mania. So, yeah, exactly. She's never had one. Yeah, hence why, if she wins the Rumble, that it's almost kind of like what Priest won in Money in the Bank. It's going to create that tension within Damage Control because they may expect her to lay down. And remember, I didn't even watch SmackDown this week. Last week, when Dakota said, "This is your plan. You have to do this on your own." This is after she lost. So they're setting it up where they're already alienating her. Right?
Okay.
So,
yep.
If they're already alienating her, she's built to in the next 3 months come out as the biggest baby face in the women's division.
I can only hope, because I'm sorry, I I will die on this hill. I have not been a fan of heel Bailey.
She hasn't been successful. That's like she's heel Bailey, but you lose all the time.
Yeah, she's like Calendar Man.
Yeah, like you lose all the time. Like ever since Sasha bounced and ever since we came out of the Thunderdome era, she hasn't been where she's been a heel. She's been effective, but she hasn't won. She's coming out and losing in all the time.
So, all right, let's get to some of these comments. Let's kind of roll through this. There's some good questions. There's some good things in here. All the way back up to the top. Raymond, good evening, fellas. What's up, Raymond? Todd Womack, Philly Dilly, Todd. Mike Hayes, how can Punk lose the Rumble and still main event at WrestleMania?
Chamber.
I think that's the easy answer. I think Chamber. I think he plays a big role there.
Even if it wasn't Chamber, he could still, you
have enough backstory between Punk and Seth, and even now Punk and Drew, to make that match happen without like I said, without needing the Rumble.
Which is what we've been talking about for the past 20 minutes.
Well, but then he said that right as we came on.
Yeah,
here,
no,
so
that's
don't
true.
Be a dick.
No, I'm not. I wasn't trying to be a dick the way I said it.
Todd Womack, King Pete, aka King Booker.
King Peter. There we go.
Oh, hell no.
Oh my God, yes, that's happening. Raymond Rivera, will this supposedly Seth Rollins injury hinder his WrestleMania chances?
No.
I am no expert when it comes to the medical field. I don't think so. The only thing I can say is that if they do the surgery or the operation, or they start like getting more X-rays or whatever, however they evaluate this, and they see it's worse off than they initially thought, because we are 12 weeks away from WrestleMania, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already saying 6 to 8 weeks on what they know as of now. So I mean,
I heard 4 to 6.
Chrome said 6 to 8.
I've heard 4 to 6, 6 to 8. I mean,
well, even 6 weeks puts you right at Mania. It's just when you get a knee scope from somebody who's had them done, knee scope, ligament repairs, and all that shit. It's really that first recovery, that first couple days of recovery, it's swelling to go down, and how quick you can get back into rehab.
Yeah,
that's so. But the biggest loser in all of this shit is Priest. Where now I just think his cash in just now happens after Mania, and unless you have him cash in and lose, like I don't need all this movement around.
Or like Rich was saying last week, it doesn't happen at all, and it'd be our first expiration,
which would create different tension throughout the judgment.
Yeah, it would. It definitely would. I mean, I can see that too.
Todd Womack, Bianca wins the female Rumble, and it's Rhea Bianca at WrestleMania 40. Stop it.
Bianca needs. What's up, Pepe? Bianca needs something. Like
she needs more. So she had an edge coming up from NXT to WWE, and that first real solid run she had, she was great because she was still kind of riding the coattails of that NXT run.
Right.
Ever since she has come back from the injury, she has not felt the same. And I'm not talking ring work. I'm not talking any of that. I'm talking from a strictly character spot, because when you look at everything that's around her on SmackDown, and maybe it'd be different if she was over on Raw, because things are more individualized on Raw. Things are, I am one woman, I am one woman, I am one woman. You're going up against a faction of, 5? Right? So, yeah, 5. So it doesn't fit that mold. You don't fit the mold of, I can take on all 5 of you, and win that title. And I don't have enough friends on this roster to do it.
Right.
You could, for Bianca for Mania, you could have her going up against the debuting
Jade Cargill.
So for that to happen, Jade has to come out at the Rumble. Right?
She has to.
Go ahead. I think she comes out regardless.
Because then you have that Raw versus SmackDown crossover match that we usually have at Mania.
Yeah.
So here's another thing, and this is, I don't want to get us too off track, but I like, for what I saw, I just read the results. Like I said, I didn't watch SmackDown, but Chance Carter beat Fire and
Dawn.
Yeah. But then Kabuki Warriors were there seen as well. This is what I would love. And it's this kind of what elevates everything, especially all the players involved. Somehow, some way between now, maybe even at Chamber, you have Kabuki Warriors take the titles off of Chance and Carter. They
get the title shot next week.
They do it. Do they have a title shot next week?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to say this right now. I get where you're going.
Where am I going?
No, pause. With Kabuki Warriors winning the titles. If it happens next week, I'm very upset.
Me too. That's way too short of a reign. But maybe they kind of get swindled out of it and they have a rematch and they drop it. Have Jade come out. Obviously, debut at Rumble. Have Bianca feud with them. Mania, you give me Bianca and Jade versus Kabuki Warriors for the women's tag team titles. Call it a night.
Well, and I think that's always been a conversation piece of Jade and Bianca teaming up. I think some people want to see Jade.
You can kind of hide Jade a little bit. You muted yourself by whatever your movement was, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sometimes the folds do what the folds do, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Well, we're running off a switchboard. So some of the stuff just, I don't know anymore. But regardless, right? I think some people want to see Jade versus Bianca first. I don't want it the Kabuki Warriors. So I don't want the Kabuki Warriors anywhere near this yet.
Right.
Because if you're going to put Jade and Bianca together, let them just destroy a Chance and Carter. Just absolutely not, because they are the women's tag team champions. Yes, they are, finally getting their shot, and I'm super excited for them. I'm big fans of both of them. But you're bringing in these two powerhouse women. You need somebody they can just completely demolish and destroy to help set the tone that they are this dominant tag team force.
Right.
And I don't know if doing that against the Kabuki Warriors out the gate, because that could kill the Kabuki Warriors. Kairi Sane and Asuka in their first big high profile match, and they get annihilated by somebody who hasn't been seen on TV in 2 years.
And who was that again? What was the match that they got annihilated?
No, I'm saying if they do the match, Kabuki Warriors versus Bianca and Jade, and the Kabuki Warriors get annihilated. So you have,
or you can even, here's the other thing you can do on some real shit. You can sit here and say you want to see Jade at Rumble, right?
Yeah.
Cool. What if you stash her again? You have Bianca constantly, and obviously damage control by this point. It could be Bianca coming to save Bayley. You feel what I'm saying? At this point, and being Bayley's corner. But then you can have Bianca be like, you know what? So we're saying what? Late March, right? You know what? I'm sick of you two. And they're the tag team champs. I'm sick of you two. I challenge you to a match for the tag team titles at Mania. Don't know who her partner is. Boom. Jade comes out at Mania. That's her tag team partner.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't know if I would like the Mania debut.
But if you talk about somebody who could really, who's been talked about, who's been seen, you see her pictures, you see the physique. Her and Bianca together with the two physiques that they have,
it's unstoppable.
Yeah.
But my fear is in a stadium like Lincoln.
It's called the Link. You don't have to.
I don't know why I said Lincoln. I don't
know why you said it.
I'll tell you what. In my head, I started to say Lincoln Financial Field, and I got really lazy. In a stadium like the Link, my fear is that she will come out, and because you don't get the same kind of roar that you get from an arena, it's going to feel flat. Right? So I would rather her debut in an arena. Right? Let that be an announcement that like closes out the go home show of Raw for WrestleMania. I'm cool with that. Or the go home show of SmackDown. I'm fine with that. You still get that arena pop. Because I think that momentum gets carried. I think that momentum gets carried into WrestleMania in a better fashion.
Right.
I don't like the WrestleMania debuts or shocking returns since they've gone to these stadium shows because it always feels flat,
Right.
right? Because if somebody's not paying attention. Hey, Todd, leave me alone, man.
Well, you got somebody giving
Yeah.
you shit from all the way from Germany.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I immediately said it and I went, ew, that doesn't feel right. That
Right.
no. All right. Let's see what else we have on here. Because there's believe it or not, I'm so happy. There's so many comments. I don't know where to go.
Comments galore. Woo! Me like your comments. Me like your comments.
You know, the man chiming in. 27 is the number of the most Royal Rumble winners. Everyone forgetting Damian Priest is the wild card and all this. I don't think we are. I just don't think that there's no scenario right.
I think WWE's forgot about Damian Priest at this point.
I don't think they have. But there's no scenario that you can put together for me where
Right.
a Damian cash-in makes sense. The only thing, and I think it's a cheap-ass way out to do it, is Seth relinquishes the title Monday night. I think you alluded to this earlier.
Yeah, I said it earlier, yeah.
Seth relinquishes the title Monday night, and Damian cashes in on a vacant title.
I was about to say, because they can do that. He can take that. He can go to Adam Pearce and say, hey, I want to trade this for the title.
Right.
Boom, done. They can make it happen. It can be done. And now you have a new World Heavyweight Champion. You ain't got to worry about all the, jump through all the hoops. You don't have to worry about Seth getting hurt in a quick, a little squash match, nothing.
But they could also do that though. Wait a minute.
No, not without the possibility of further aggravating or further injuring Seth, and he'd be completely out of Mania.
Not if you do it right. Seth's out there to do his
Don't matter how right you do it though.
But again though, we're talking knees to feet to everything like that, right? Take a flat back, right? Take a flat bump on your back, feet are elevated. He gives them what does he call it? The South of Heaven, the choke slam, right? We've seen them do dumber things. Cody Rhodes wrestled without a torn pectoral muscle or whatever the hell it was, right?
Well, that's because it was fully torn.
Again, though, if they've gotten the clearance, if they know what they're doing, and again, we have to put some stock in the fact that these guys are trained professionals.
Yes, I get that they're trained professionals,
and also, and I'll say
accidents happen.
But again, I'll die on this hill because somehow we lost Pete. I'll die on this hill. It's the WWE. Would it surprise anybody at all if Damian cashed in Monday night halfway through Seth's reveal?
No, it wouldn't be, but I'm just saying, yes, you can be as safe as you want, but accidents happen.
And I'm not saying they don't. I'm not, by no stretch.
So you be super safe by going, Seth, walk out there, say, give up the title, and walk the hell right back if that's the case.
But then, again, though, let's assume for a second that Damian is going to cash in his briefcase. I still think that the schmuck doesn't do it. It causes different tension through the Judgment Day, and it gives me something.
And that's fine.
Stop. It gives me something to care about through the summer. Okay, because none of us will care about anything from the end of WrestleMania to Money in the Bank, and then Money in the Bank till SummerSlam. There's nothing we'll care about. It gives me something to care about at that point. Okay. But we've all been wrestling fans for a very, very, very long time. There's not a single person in this chat, on this screen, in this company that does not say, hey, you know what? Damian might cash it in on Monday. Right? There's just, I get everything you are saying. I understand safety and accidents happen and this, that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 blah. I get all of that. But when you're looking at the big picture of everything, and you put the title on Damian. Damian drops the title to Drew inside the chamber.
Yep.
You stack the chamber. It's not just Damian versus Drew. It's stacked in there. Okay. Do all of that, and then now you have Drew versus Punk. You get there through the chamber, through that match. Okay. But it has us have some kind of storyline, because if you vacate the title, let's say, again, let's argument's sake, let's say he vacates the title. Okay. Are you going to tell me that now the Elimination Chamber match is for the vacated title?
Sure.
Okay, then Damian cashes in that night, and now we're taking Damian as champion into WrestleMania. And I have no disrespect towards Damian whatsoever, but I don't think there's a single person here that wants to see Damian Priest ride into WrestleMania with the championship right now.
Nope.
Exactly. So there are just way too many variables, way too many. This could have happened at a worse time.
Right.
Right. And I'm not saying it's anybody's fault or anything like that.
Mania? Yeah, I know.
Huh?
I said 2 weeks before Mania. Yeah, I
Rumble?
know. I mean, yeah, Rumble. Yeah.
Well, but not even that. You're announcing it 5 days before. It's not even a week.
Yeah, no, you're
Right.
You're going to make a ripple effect.
the week of Rumble. You are going
5 days before the Royal Rumble. So it could have happened at a worse time. So in that, how do you make the worst of a bad situation? I mean, the best of a bad situation, right? You do really dumb things that you probably wouldn't have done.
I've probably done dumber. I don't know.
You said dumber, but you're also not going to have. I think Damian Priest was a non-factor. He was not a part of any of these plans until Seth Rollins' injury happened. I think he teases all of it, because I realistically thought after Monday night when Drew got in Damian's face that it was going to be Damian Drew at either Rumble or Elimination Chamber.
Right.
They were building towards that. But now with this, they may be building towards that for Chamber with Damian as a championship.
Right.
If he goes and cashes in on the NXT champion, I will throw something.
It sucks because he's been a byproduct of just so much happening, like this influx of talent, right time, right place, and Triple H being able to capitalize on who's available, where the whole landscape and that road changed. Like there's been people who have suffered. We enjoy it because obviously, if you go back and watch our year in review, CM Punk coming out Survivor Series is one of the biggest moments that Industry Ring had all last year, and for A2D as a whole.
Yeah,
you have those. You have The Rock, like you have all these other cards to play, and now players on the table. It's difficult. That's why, honestly, in my true opinion, don't cash in just for the sake of the cash in. Wait, push it to push. Hell, have him cash in the night of Money in the Bank, because that's truly when it expires. You see, like you've never done this.
It's expired the day before,
or even the Raw before, the day before. You can have a match. Here's one thing you can do. You can build up the Money in the Bank main event, because it's in Germany this year, right? You can have that main event. You can have a World Heavyweight title match that early on the card. Or here's another thing. You can have him cash in on Cody, because by that time, it's 7 months later. And this is the one thing. He's trying to finish the story because his dad never won a title, but his dad never held on the title for long. And I bet you Cody doesn't want to hold on to the title for long. He wants to chase it, get it, chase it, get it, chase it. He doesn't have a problem once he gets it. He has his moment at Mania. That's April. Money in the Bank is what, July? That's 3 months. And then boom, then you could chase it like that. It's so many different things you could do to where we just don't. If Seth just literally has to go away, he can go away. We don't need him here. Shit, we did it with Roman. Roman wasn't around for 6 to 8 weeks without the title. Brock did the same thing. So why is it any different for Seth? Because it's not him doing it by choice. It's him doing it because he's injured. So he made the perfect storyline. Maybe he may not feel as if he can hold up to what he wants that title to be and be the champion he wants, and he relinquishes it that way. Maybe. And then you go in the chamber, then he can come back, and then you can do a triple threat, or you do whatever. If they want to put that title on a triple threat, I'm cool with that. But I still think him and Punk deserves that. They still deserve their own thing.
And I think they will. I think they get to it, and you could even still do that match without the title too, right? You don't necessarily need the title for the Punk Seth thing because of how well documented the bad blood between those two is.
Right.
I want to throw us to a commercial because we've been on for 41 minutes and haven't paid bills yet. So I'm going to throw us to a commercial. We'll come back. We'll start talking the men's Royal Rumble. We're not going to go too deep into it, but we'll start kind of where we think certain people are going to be. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor,
and fun.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
And we thank our friends at Royal Billiard for sponsoring this portion of the show. Find your game room or man cave needs at royalbilliard.com. All right, so we had a great conversation kicking off the show. And guys, thank you all so much for all the comments. We saw all of them. We try to get to them as much as we can. But we're going to shift gears just a little bit, and we're going to start talking about the men's Royal Rumble. And what we're going to do, instead of kind of going, number by number, who's in it 1, who's in it 2, who's in it 3, we're going to kind of pick some of the more important numbers and kind of give where we think people are going to be, what our final 4. It's like a prediction, but more of a mock, right? What we hope to happen, not necessarily what we think will realistically happen. Okay, because that's what next week's for. Predictions and all of that, that's for next week's preview show. So I guess, Pete, we'll start with you. And realistically, this first kind of round, we're going to do 1 and 2. You're muted, brother.
Yes. Who do I think is going to be the first and second entrant into the Rumble?
In the men's Royal Rumble, yes, sir.
No, the first and second.
I'm going to say Cody's going to be 1 or 2. Kind of going to be 2 people.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me specifics because they're both. It's so funny about 1 and 2, right? Because everybody's like, "Oh, well, he was in the ring 30 seconds before the other guy." Shut up.
Right. Because Cody was 30 last year, right?
Correct.
So I'm going to say Cody and Dom Mysterio.
Ooh. I think I know where you're going with this already. Butters, your turn.
I was going to go with R-Truth and Dominic Mysterio.
That would be hysterical. But see, for that though, and I know it's your mock and everything, R-Truth, JD McDonough.
Yeah. Just
because everything I see, it seems like he's screwing with McDonough more than necessarily Mysterio. I think we can all agree Cody does start this thing off. But as far as on the other side of Cody, I think it's going to be not somebody that he can have a blow off with, but somebody that can kind of help him go the distance for the the next little bit. So Dom Mysterio is a great answer. JD McDonough is a great answer.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like it to be. Call me crazy, but it's not high profile by no stretch.
Crazy,
but somebody like a Pete Dunne or something like that. Something that just it's not believable enough to where like, oh, they could eliminate Cody, but it's somebody that can challenge and push Cody for this first, 2 minutes, 3 minutes in the beginning.
Isn't it? No, I'm thinking of War Games.
Yeah, whatever that first time, because you need somebody that just enough is going to give you Cody just enough and be that good counterpart to him. And you don't want it too big. You don't want it to be somebody that you think, oh, Cody's going to roll over this guy.
You were talking about something else, but it's completely.
Yeah. With Pete Dunne, with Butch going back to Pete Dunne,
Right.
I think it's a great momentum that he needs to really solidify being right there.
Right.
So, notable entrance. And what I mean by that is, do you have somebody coming out in a specific spot? So, like, you know, how the man earlier was talking about 27 holds the most winners. You know, a lot of people talk about 17 and 15 and some of these other, 10 has always been a big number for some ungodly reason. It means nothing in the long run. But any, like, notable entrances, and not surprise entrances, notable.
I would say Punk at 23 and Gunther at 30.
Okay. Why Punk at 23? And borderline, why not the other way around?
I feel like Gunther would be more of a last match after last year being damn near first. You know, he was in there so long that, maybe this year he can, pull a good number, so to speak, and
Yeah.
Punk, you don't want him too early. I'd say you don't want him too late, as in like the last, 5 entrances, but mid could be kind of all right, but I feel like 23 is a pretty fair number for Punk.
It's an interesting number because while Punk's been wrestling on the house shows,
Right.
he has not wrestled. He has not thrown a punch on air.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be Punk's in-ring debut on TV for the WWE in-ring return, I guess you would call it, not a debut.
Right.
On TV.
There you go.
So it's an interesting spot because I'd almost put Punk. I'd almost put Punk at like 15.
Mm-hmm.
Right smack dab in the middle. It gives him enough time to have those quick little bursts, but then be, down in the corner while, 20 through 25 do their thing. He comes back for the final 4 kind of bit. Todd says, does Okada make a surprise? And I've seen Okada's name a few times, so that's why I'm bringing it up right now. His contract's not up till the 31st.
Right. I could have sworn I just saw something too where his farewell match in New Japan is February. And he's doing a 6-man trios match next week on TNA Impact.
And to be quite honest, I didn't know if we are going to bring Okada up or not, but I've been thinking about this all day, seeing all the Okada information. I don't think he signs with WWE.
I don't think so either.
I honestly think he is AEW bound before WrestleMania.
So
he signed and in AEW before Mania.
So I've been talking about the Okada stuff since it broke yesterday, or this morning, or whenever the hell it was.
Yeah. Within the last 24 hours, let's put it that way.
It's a pipe dream. I would love for Okada to be in the Royal Rumble. I think, and I'm also somebody to where, because WWE's been around for so long, that certain people should be in these certain matches that only WWE does. Right? So I think Omega and the Bucks should at some point in their careers be in the Royal Rumble. Sammy Guevara, Hook, right? All these guys that are over on AEW, I think at some point in their careers should come over and do the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to see Okada show up. Because the contract's not up till the 31st. Okay, and there are rumors of him still having some things to fulfill, like Pete was just saying. And then you brought up the trios. Was it you that brought up the trios match? Or somebody brought up the fucking trios match.
You did, or I thought you did, but Pete did.
But he has a trios match. I don't see him going WWE, but he has a benefit though. He's not officially signed anywhere else. He can literally come and go as he pleases.
Yep. And WWE and Japan have been trying to, do this thing together for a while. They've, apparently, I guess within this past month, they've,
But it's been AJPW. It's not
either way.
but
I know, but they could still talk to New Japan and ask for a one-time Royal Rumble. They could give them Shinsuke for another night. They could do whatever,
But
Right.
I think you
could have them
problem though here
without signing him.
The problem though with that is you have the AEW factor.
Mm-hmm.
And with how much of a child that Tony Khan has been as of late, I would have to assume that if Triple H were to go to New Japan will then have to look at Tony Khan and go, hey, this is what's been presented to us. They are your direct rival in your country. Are you okay if we let this happen?
Right.
And Tony, again, being the child that he is, has strong possibility he's going to say no. And the New Japan, wanting to honor the continuous relationship that they have with All Elite Wrestling, is going to say to Triple H, no. If Okada's contract was up today, then I would be sitting here telling everybody and their fifth grandmother that Okada's going to come out at number 27.
I thought his contract was officially done because
I will read it to you. It is not officially. Like all of you guys are sitting here saying, "Oh, it's officially done. It's officially done. It's officially done." No, absolutely not. New Japan has announced that I'm not saying his first name. Okada will be leaving the company after.
You can't say Kazuchika?
No, after the conclusion of his contract on January 31st, 2024. It's plain as day. So everybody's saying, "Oh, his contract's already up. It's already this. It's already that." Guys, read. I'm so tired of nobody taking the time to sit there and read when these reports come out. I will sit here and be the first person to have pipe dream after pipe dream after pipe dream about these people showing up. But when it's right there in written text, read.
I don't want to read.
You're dumb.
I mean, you literally just couldn't say Kazuchika, so I mean, I don't know how far.
So in all fairness,
y'all just do a boomerang a dumb around and hit Butters and hit back to you.
In all fairness, though, I will never ever say, like, even when I was in sales, when I was selling cars every day, if I didn't feel comfortable in saying your name, wasn't happening, because I have that mindset of if I butcher your name, that's like in some countries, in some cultures, that's disrespectful. Right. I don't want to right out the gate disrespect somebody, and that kind of has taken on a bigger role. Like I will ask everybody, how do you say it? Say it for me. Say it a couple times. All right, cool. Now I've got it. Now I'm going to try it. Have I butchered it? Yes. All right, I'm never saying it again. So that's where that mindset goes. Wasn't even going to try it. Absolutely not. But I know I wasn't going to try it. I knew it the minute I opened up that picture, I wasn't going to try it.
Oh, the moment you opened up that picture, huh?
Yeah, because it's a picture that got sent to me. You want to see it? Do you want to read? Do you want to read it again too? Because you clearly didn't read it since you were under the impression that it was already over. So post hoc ergo propter hoc. Shut up.
Poco watch
TV. It's The West Wing, episode 2.
What is going on?
There's some hot. I'm feisty today. My stupidity meter is just it's high. I've dealt with way too much stupid today. I'm feisty.
Okay.
Hi, stupid. I'm James. Nice to meet you.
Today's not the day for that. Oh, not today.
You never shake with your left hand anyway.
Also, yes.
What?
Never shake with your left hand.
Never shake. I mean, you can shake things
I'm a
with your left
lefty.
hand if you can reach them, but never hands.
I hate you so much.
Wait, what did he say?
I said you can shake things with your left hand, but never hands.
Anyway. Final four for the men's Royal Rumble, because we got really off topic here.
Cody, Punk, Gunther again, Drew. I feel like 3 or 4 of those were the outside of Punk were the final 4 last year too.
I've got.
I don't know if Drew was.
I don't think Drew was. Cody, Punk, Gunther, Brock.
I mean, Brock has to be 30 then.
Yeah, Brock would have to be 30.
Have to be.
And
That
you have-
lazy SOB.
and then you have Gunther and Brock take each other out.
No, because I think because if you do that, and don't get me wrong, on paper, if Gunther wasn't the Intercontinental Champion,
Right.
I love that idea. But Gunther is still the Intercontinental Champion, and I still have him going to WrestleMania and losing the title to Chad Gable. I still have that. I'm holding on to that. It's what I want, damn it.
Now, because you have Gunther eliminate Brock, Gunther get eliminated by Cody, and then Cody getting eliminated by Punk. Punk wins it all. You set up Gunther versus Brock for Mania. You set up.
But again though, like all right, so
I know, I get it. You
so
want
hold on. Gunther versus Brock at Mania. And it's not gonna be for the Intercontinental title. There ain't no way in God's green bloody earth that Brock's gonna fight for the Intercontinental title. Brock doesn't get out of bed for less than 30 grand.
I mean,
Why not? Brock's never won the IC title.
he's never.
He can-
I don't, it's
He
not
can
about,
wake up and decide one day I want it.
It's not about the title. It's about the man who has a title.
Right. But you've done so, and I think because I was so invested in that Chad Gable.
Give up your pipe dream.
No, I was so invested in the Chad Gable storyline for the Intercontinental Championship that when you look at the Intercontinental Championship picture, they've done nothing with nobody else.
You can't die on 2 hills. Get off that hill.
Yes, I can. You just don't like the fact that I'm right.
Nope.
So now, if you want to do that at Elimination Chamber and Brock is the one that costs Gunther the title, there's a part of me that loves that idea. There's a part of me that hates it. One, you've kind of ended his historic run on a schmaz. 2, it's a disservice to Chad Gable. Because I think this is one where Chad just needs to beat him clean and everything like that. And Todd, to some degree, yes, you can do it on Raw. The Chad Gunther hen. But we've already done it like 3 times on Raw. Give Chad Gable his respect. Now, all that being said, I've not once thought of Brock in the Rumble this year. Until you said that right there. Because until you said Brock, I was in the same boat Pete is.
Right.
Punk, Rhodes, McIntyre, Gunther. I love that Final 4. Absolutely. I think it's a great Final 4. Yours isn't horrible either. The Brock factor concerns me, though. Because per just general WWE history, if Brock's in the Rumble, Brock's winning the Rumble, Brock's going to take the title off of somebody.
He doesn't always win when he's in the Rumble. He's won 1.
I understand that. I'm looking at current Brock right now.
And current Brock's only won 1.
Okay, I'm done arguing today. I am absolutely done with it. So we're gonna move on because I'm not going to argue anymore because it seems like no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. All right, so surprises.
Ooh.
This is the part that I am probably the most concerned about this year, and I think that's why I'm so hung up and upset about the Okada thing because I think Okada would be the best surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only other person I could think of that's a surprise that I'm actually excited for, but I don't think it's going to happen, would be Big E.
Yeah.
I just don't think Big E is ready, or there's a small part of me that says at this point he's not coming back.
Sadly, yeah.
The more that the time elapses, you kind of have to, You kind of have to agree. You know what I mean? Like, it's just sucks, man. It sucks. There's no other way. There's no other word I have for it.
Yeah. As far as as far as surprises go, I'd say for the men's, we'll probably get like 2.
But who are they? So one name that's been thrown around that's pretty much confirmed has been X-Pac, which I don't all respect in the world to X-Pac. That doesn't excite me.
I mean, he could be throwing the swerve, but he's come out and said it ain't happening. He came out and made a tweet about it.
Okay, I don't believe.
I know.
It's just everything I say, he has to tell me how I'm wrong tonight, and it's really getting annoying.
I'm not trying to do it on purpose.
The chat wants to sit over here and call me out on things.
I'm not trying to do it on purpose.
I'll go.
No,
I will happily. You guys can finish. I'll happily go out.
No, sir.
Okay. But X-Pac's been thrown around, but he says a tweet, so it's not happening. Okay, cool. Jesus Christ. Andrade's been another name that's been thrown out.
Forgot about him. He'd be a good one.
I know there's a talk of him wanting to come back to the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I think he was mishandled in AEW towards the end.
Yep.
I think he started off really, really strong, but then you had a series of different injuries. I don't think it's AEW's fault by no means. I think it was just mishandled. I'm just not right now. Andrade could be one, but that would have to be right place, right time. I think you put him in too early, nobody's gonna care. I think you put him in too late, and no one's gonna believe that he's going to do anything other than they just wanted to put him in the Royal Rumble.
So would you make him like one of those absolute mids?
It'd be like that 2021 spot. I think a 2021 spot's a really, really sweet spot for a return that's actually going to stick around, right? I think you use like a 4, like Bubba Ray Dudley was 3 or 4 a few years back when they were in Philly. I think you use a MVP. What was he the year that was in Houston? I think he was early on in the Rumble as well. Use some of those early spots for the people that are going to come back and not really stick around. MVP stuck around, but he stuck around in a managerial role. So you knew nothing was going to come from that.
Who else is out there? I'm just trying to think who else is out there that could make maybe a Kane. I don't know. I'm trying to think of names that are not even older names per se, not even legends per se. Just some names that people would like to see, even if it's for one night in a WWE ring, that are free agents in a sense.
All your free agents are either committed to somewhere for that weekend, from my understanding, or not in the country, or injured.
Now, I don't know if he's committed or not, but what about Matt Cardona?
You could do it.
I would like that a lot. I would like Cardona in the room. There's a small part of me that says it's time to bring Matt Cardona home.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think it's gonna sound silly. I think he's our John Moxley. He turns into the WWE version of John Moxley.
I mean, with all the death matches and stuff.
Yeah, the death matches, the kind of rough around the edges, very brash, very.
Right. So we could get our edginess back for
Yeah, you have some of that little bit of edginess there to him.
Damien. That's one that I thought about.
No,
not a shot.
I don't think so. I'm not. I don't want to. I don't really want to dive into the apology video because I think it's a horrendous. I think it's an atrocious video. Not for anything more than the fact of it's really cringy to watch.
Right.
So for that, no, I don't think we get Velveteen Dream. It's Velveteen, not Velveteen.
Do we get any NXT Rumble spots?
Well, real quickly,
okay.
before we go too far away, talk about Andrade. You have the LWO feud going on when he comes into the Rumble. And so that would be something to really keep your eye on. Who's out when, and then what side does he sit on?
I think he would side with LWO because that Zelina Vega, former manager, former, friend.
That, and I think they need a
bigger star,
heavy hitter, right? Not having Ray around right now. I think you need that person that can go up against Escobar, because Escobar on his side of things is the bigger standout star.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you need somebody that can kind of stand toe to toe.
I know you're trying it with Carlito, but I don't think
it's working.
I don't think it's clicking at all.
No, and reports are coming out that people within WWE are not happy with Carlito anyway.
Oh hell!
But there was nothing more to the report, just that they're not happy with it.
Gotcha.
So let's go to that NXT side. Let's go to. Do we have anybody coming up?
You can give them a couple.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Trick, Breaker. There we go.
Breaker. Yeah.
I'll say this though: if Breaker comes up, he stays up.
He has to.
He has to at this point, right? I didn't read from last week, but I know him and Corbin are in the Dusty Classic. Did they lose?
Nope.
No, they won.
They haven't
I think the Dusty Classic
round
finals are
yet,
going to be
they?
Trick and Mello versus Breaker and Corbin. That's what I think the finals are going to be.
So they haven't started the second round yet. Is that what I'm understanding?
No.
I think they're in the semifinals.
Okay, so but there's only 3 rounds.
Okay,
yeah. It's not a long classic like it was in years past. Okay, so then I don't think Breaker. Because like I said though, Breaker shows up in the Rumble, keep him on the main roster. I do think we see whoever. So Damien says Dragunov. Okay,
When's Vengeance Day?
After, because I was literally about to say whoever the NXT champion is, and then I realized that it's February 4th, not that weekend. Because I'm still used to weekend of the big pay-per-views. There's an NXT event of some kind.
But I think because they've switched to a Saturday setting, it's harder for them to do NXT before.
It is. So Dragunov as the NXT champion, because the NXT champion always shows up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a given.
Okay.
Mello's doing double duty right now.
Yep.
So I think I don't know if I would call that an NXT call up, because he is doing double duty on both shows. But I think Mello's in the Rumble. There's a part of me that says, other than like some of your top guys like Cody and because I don't know if Gunther shows up at 30. I do think Gunther's earlier in the Rumble, but I think Mello has the potential to be one of those Iron Man MVP kind of people.
Maybe the trick spot with the that's usually like Kofi or Shelton.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that at all.
Because I think Carmelo could be the one to pull that one off.
Because especially now with Kofi being hurt.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, anything else though we want to talk about for men's Rumble before we transition over to the women's?
Mm-mm.
No.
Like I said, like we've talked about, next week we are doing preview, we are doing predictions. I think we'll have a little bit more inside baseball to this, because they haven't really set the field. By Friday, we should really know the core of the field. We'll know how many spots have been confirmed. We'll know how many spots are left open for surprises or call-ups. And you and I run into this every year. We sit there and we go, okay, they've got 9 spots. How do we fill those 9 spots? So hopefully by next Friday, we will know that.
Just leave me at least 5 spots open so I can at least have a good, okay, we're going to get something surprise-wise.
Yeah. We're gonna go to commercial. We will be right back, and we're gonna dive right into the Women's Royal Rumble.
In our family, food is our daily bond. My nonna, affectionately called Mama by many, found solace and joy in the kitchen, sharing her love through delicious creations. She turned her culinary passion into a flourishing business alongside her husband and sons in 1983. Celebrating 40 years is a testament to our exceptional team, friends, family, and beloved customers. With gratitude, we look forward to the future, expanding our brand to share the highest quality Italian food and wine nationwide. Our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has played a part in our story. Grazie mille.
That might be the best commercial that we have, because he and I we're just sitting here watching all the food. Because that
They're all
Curly,
great. All our sponsors are great.
all our sponsors are absolutely great, but this is the one where I'm like, I want that, I want that, I want that. I watched the Royal Billiards one, and I go, I want that, but where the hell am I gonna put it?
I mean, in the Northeast right now, with the temperatures and the snow, a hot tub would be cold. Would be pretty good right now.
Hey man, it's cold out here too.
It's like in the 30s right now.
We are like in the teens, man.
But understand something. When
listening.
it is like 30, 40 degrees in this, let me rephrase that. When it drops below 60, these people have no idea what to do.
They don't. They really
even
don't.
have their own coats, bro. Like you just have to have jackets.
Bro.
And sweatshirts.
Todd, keep taking shots, man. Come on. Keep taking shots. Tonight is not the night to be taking shots at. I mean, I'm telling you right now. So up north, if you hear snow is coming, or
Right.
it's going to go below freezing, what does a sensible, state do? It salts the roads, right?
Listen, it's funny you say that because these roads today after this storm up here are pretty shit. Excuse my language.
But
I mean, they do something. They do something.
There's an attempt ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
This state waits till it's already iced over to then go out and they'll close the road and put salt on the road and to thaw it out.
Oh.
They shut down a part of a highway, the major highway that runs through every city in this state. They shut part of it down to ice it on Monday.
So I wonder if you got like a.
Anymore. They dirt it.
What did he say?
They put, again. We're telling me I'm wrong.
No, I'm not trying. I'm just
we're putting dirt on the road now.
Yeah, instead of salt to clear the ice, which would be the smartest thing to do.
So they add dirt to add traction.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I don't think southern cities really have it in their budget to prep for, because it happens so infrequently.
So I have on very good authority.
Okay.
That at least this area, the neighboring counties right here, absolutely are prepared.
And this is still how they choose to go about it.
This is just incompetence and ignorance.
So it was when the ice or the snow or the cold weather, that notification does go out in enough time. It's just the execution of the plan is poor.
We all get. You know how we all get notified?
How?
The Weather Channel.
Wow.
There is nothing from the state that says, hey, there's cold weather coming, right? Like this freeze, I didn't even get anything from my water company. Like normally I do. Hey, drip your lines, make sure your heat's on, open up your cabinet doors, right? Because we're not prepared for any of this, blah, blah, blah. I got nothing. What I did get, hey, in 3 weeks' time, we're going to flush all the systems. And so just make sure you let your, if the water's brown or red, just let that water run a little bit longer and it'll be fine. That's the email I got. Anyway, like so much incompetence this week. Let's talk about the Women's Royal Rumble. Who do we have starting out 1 and 2?
Bianca and I guess we could go with Kyrie.
Okay. Pete.
I see Kyrie.
And I raise you.
I am going to raise you. Man, because Kyrie's, I mean, she's a name, but she's not a name. So, like, you have to have somebody. Becky, maybe? Maybe?
Ooh, you want to go the Iron Becky, huh? The Iron Man.
Maybe. I mean, because Bianca's been one or two for the past couple years. I think, like, you got to switch it up a little bit.
Becky and Bailey.
Okay.
And I think, and I'll go one further with this. I think Becky and Bailey end up in the final four.
I can see that.
They were part of my Final Four.
So to round out my final four, I do think Bianca is there. And I do think Jade is there.
I take out your Jade and add Nia. Because
Like
mine was going to be Bianca, Bailey, Becky, Nia. What?
Part of me that thought you were going to say Tamina.
No, I think she makes a surprise.
Um,
But she's not your Final Four.
I see why Nia's not a final four. I think, for me at least, I think they utilize Bianca. They utilize Bianca and Jade being in the final four here. Somehow, either both being eliminated or one eliminates the other to set up the next chapter. Because I do think the first person that Jade interacts with is Bianca.
yep.
I can agree to that.
I think that's why they've been waiting so long to make sure that she's ready to go on Bianca's level.
Right. I can see that.
So okay, so what's your final four, Pete?
Bailey, Bianca, I'm gonna put Asuka in there.
Ooh.
And Nia.
Is it wrong of me to say I didn't even think about Asuka?
You haven't been thinking about a lot of things tonight.
Not even that. It's
Well,
just
Staying on brand.
I can see the Asuka thing because you could have Bailey eliminate Asuka to grow that tension even more.
I think that happens early. Not early, I should say, like mid-match. I think that happens there. Because with the women's Royal Rumble, I see more things happening in the middle part of the match to set things up. Because of the, at least in my head, because of the Jade Bianca thing at the end in the final four, so many things are going to happen from that like 15 to 25 spot. That solid core middle to where that's what starts setting up those other feuds we're going to see leading into WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because I think you'll have to have Bailey go through Asuka and Kyrie.
Yep.
I don't think Dakota's in the match. I don't think I'd love for Dakota to be in the match to surprise everybody and wrestle. I would. I'm a Dakota fan.
Yep.
And you're obviously not going to have Io in there.
Right.
Right. So to go through both of them, I think that has to happen early on, almost back to back.
I can see that.
Will Mack wants to know what's the status of Liv and Bliss.
To be quite honest, Liv is going to be a surprise entrance, I do believe.
I think Bliss is a surprise entrance too.
How far is she removed from the baby?
Far enough.
I honestly, I can't answer that.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just blowing smoke.
I will tell you, it's been at least a few months, maybe like 2. I think anything past 3 might be too far.
They had a child November 27th.
Yeah, so 2 months by the time the Rumble happens.
Yeah, I still don't. That's tough.
Yeah, that might be too early.
I thought it'd been longer than that.
Yeah, that maybe on Bliss. I would hate it. I don't hate it.
I'm gonna give you another one. As far as because you Stratton, I know she may be a call up. You may be getting to that, but I think they could kind of sneak her into the top four, to the final four too.
Yeah.
She's just that good, bro.
No, I don't hate it. I don't. I didn't have. I had Tiffany in the match.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have her in the final four, but I did have her late in the Rumble. I had her probably coming out like 21, 22, right, and riding up to maybe like the fifth or sixth spot right before, top 6, top 5.
As far as some true surprises and special guests goes, I could throw down with some Naomi since she's free from TNA officially.
Yeah.
Is that official? Because I thought I saw something where she was involved in some storylines in the tapings.
She is, but she's contractually she's free to go. She does have a few tapings, but I don't think it's gonna anything will impact what she's doing.
Pun intended or no?
Well, no, because they're now TNA now, no longer Impact.
Yeah, pun intended.
But when you it's the TV on Access TV, it comes up TNA Impact still.
Oh,
Damien, I think she's going to.
That was my other one with Sasha. I believe Sasha's coming out the Rumble. Don't think she's going to AEW.
It could be a swerve. They keep saying that the talks ended on WWE side because of the money, but
I mean, look what happened with Punk.
Can't always believe what you hear, man.
We got a hell of a swerve with Punk.
Yeah, that is true. It wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. It wasn't happening.
Oh my gosh, it happened.
I think the voices were a little bit deeper than that.
The Sasha thing I would truly love, because especially if you're gonna bring Bayley back as a face,
yeah,
you gotta give her somebody that will align herself with Bayley, no questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you can't make me believe that Bianca's automatically gonna side with Bayley. You can't make me believe that Charlotte's gonna automatically side when Charlotte comes back. Right? Like some of these faces that she's gone up against. And Sasha would come back with such a thunderous fury.
And, I get it. I know they're best friends in real life outside of, all their work and everything. But, dear Lord, the amount of sightings they've had recently together, TNA at the pay-per-view.
And for the record, Todd, she wasn't backstage. They were sitting in the stands. They were sitting
in
the crowd.
They had. I was about to say they were in a booth or something.
Yeah, they were in like a box or something. It looked backstage because I think it was just a shot arena. But
but they've been sighted together quite a bit lately. Normally you don't see that, but here lately they've been showing it off.
It's been more in your face.
Yes. So it kind of makes you wonder, are we getting the Punk swerve again, except this time with Sasha?
To pull that off at back-to-back big PLEs, and really back-to-back PLEs, because they didn't have anything in December.
Correct.
That would change the game tremendously.
I wouldn't hate it.
No, I wouldn't either. Okay, so we already kind of did. And any other surprises though?
I'd say maybe a legend, maybe like a Molly Holly or Jazz or Jacqueline, somebody, just at least a legend or two.
Trish. Mine's 100% selfish.
What about Trish?
I want Trish to come back.
This man.
Who doesn't though?
Exactly.
This man would melt if he saw her come back in the Rumble.
If I got you a cameo of Trish Stratus telling you happy birthday,
brother, I'll tell you what.
He'd pass out.
Tell you what. When we did Comicpalooza a few years back, I didn't care about any other signing I had that weekend, except for the Trish and Lita signing. And we had I did the signing. That was great. That was awesome. Not signed the picture. I did the photo op. But then they were doing a panel, and there were other panels we wanted to go to, me and a buddy of mine. I straight up said, nope. We're going to the Trish and Lita panel. Come on.
I would have said go by yourself. I would have been chilling with you for a little bit, but I would have stuck off.
We're going to the TNA panel. Come on.
But here's a really good one from Damien. Mickey James.
I can see it.
Especially with her signing with Ohio Valley Wrestling as of late and with everything Aldis is doing. I think that's a great in for her. I would love to see Aldis wrestle. I don't know why he's not. I don't get this whole general manager thing. And I would love to, at this point, just see Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis wrestle for fun.
GM versus GM.
Oh, my God, if they're both in the Rumble.
In their suits?
Yes.
But which brand is better, Raw versus SmackDown? You have it come down to GM versus GM.
Hold on. Here it is. Here's the setup. They're sitting ringside. And next thing you know, some random music hits. And Nick Aldis gets up and takes his tie off and goes in and just starts throwing haymakers. The very next person is Adam Pearce. And Pearce gets in his face. And for that, 2 minutes that they have to, show off for each other, it's those two just throwing bombs at each other.
For the women, what about you may get a Nikita Lyons, but what about Camille? Another free agent.
So she was backstage where
she was backstage at AEW visiting friends, but there's also been rumors that she was at
TNA. I thought she was just backstage at the TNA tapings.
She was at TNA. She was at AEW. And I could have sworn I heard that she was also at the Performance Center too. She's been all over.
I mean, she did primarily wrestle in Japan. So when you come over here and you're not affiliated with anybody, you are going to show up everywhere.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that because with everything going on with the Damage Control storyline and how we heard rumors that they were going to transition this into an all Asian women faction.
And you had the Nick Aldis factor. She was aligned with him in NWA.
Oh, was she?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he could be like, hey, I brought somebody in to help out here with your little problem, a good friend of mine, and then just bring in Camille.
That doesn't work in the Rumble though.
No, I'm not saying the Rumble wise, but you still
that's a great debut for her for something else. But I think that would be really good I think Camille in the Rumble would be really good.
Another one I forgot about, Carmella.
Oh, she's been far enough removed.
Yeah, she has.
Sure.
Maybe
she had the baby.
The downside though with Carmella is if she comes back, I want her to come back and really be back. And I just don't see her because I follow her on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see her truly coming back. I see her showing because I think she'd be great for I think you were saying that as I was talking over you, and I apologize. But I think she'd be truly great if Bayley goes face to face off against Bayley, Sasha, Carmella against Damage Control. Right? Because it's two of Bayley's best friends against her former team.
You know what I just thought about? And this is for the men's portion. I literally just thought of this name.
Hold on, for the women.
Go ahead.
I'm going to keep saying it until it happens. Because again, I'm very much somebody to where I want everybody at least once to be in the Royal Rumble. Tessa Blanchard.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I will keep saying this until it happens.
Honestly, you got the male version of Tessa Blanchard already in CM Punk as far as locker room shit. she may be worse, but shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
So talented, bro.
What did you have for the women?
No, for the men.
Yeah,
since football, especially college football, is pretty much over.
McAfee.
I'm not surprised for Pat McAfee.
I would love it for him to be in the Rumble. I would love it more because the Rumble is one that because we do live reactions and we don't get audio and different things like that. The Rumble is very much one where I go back and rewatch because I want to listen to the commentary throughout because they have the same problem we do sometimes. They run out of things to say and it's just chaos.
Yep.
So I would really like McAfee to be on commentary for that because that would just oh my god.
What if hear me out? What if he enters a rumble, gets eliminated,
Goes to commentary.
He goes straight to the commentary, be like, gets eliminated in front of the commentary. He's like, move over.
That
Hi,
only
Michael.
works if he's like 5 or 6 though, because I want him for the whole rumble.
Yeah.
Well, I get that. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
you know,
but he would have to come in very, very early into the rumble, and
it's like, well, I tried. How do you know, Michael?
yeah, yeah. But so, anything else for the women?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right, I'm gonna take a few minutes, and because we're kind of running up against the clock here. I don't run. I haven't run anywhere in 20 years, so
And he's only 29.
I'm
So do the
32.
How old are you?
32.
Oh. Well, I mean, I wasn't that far off.
You missed like 3 years of my life. Like,
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I was within 3. Like,
arguably, like maybe some of the best years of my life.
Yeah, but he was within 3.
Shut up! I like those years; they were good years.
It could have been the first 3.
did you think about running during those 3 years?
I mean, I did a lot of walking in Disney in those 3 years. Does that count?
Nope.
No.
It's hysterical. We just had the Houston Marathon, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And people were like, you know, oh, they just ran 13.1 miles and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I walked 16 at Epcot 4 weeks ago. What do you want from me? Like, do I get a medal? No. Why are you so special?
Yeah, walking 16 miles. Now I'm out, fam. Give me a scooter. So if I can get a scooter or a Segway around the parks,
You can.
I'm all for it.
We can rent you one.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
So I actually looked into that. That's expensive for a week. It's like $400 to rent one of those things for a week.
I mean, like it's just the knees. Like my football knees, man. They don't like that. They don't like the cushion, man. They don't like the pounding, yo. I tossed that one up there for y'all.
Well,
Pete, do not start the Rumble early, damn
it's
it.
a family show.
Do not start the Rumble early.
It's a family show. It's a twisted family.
There's something getting thrown
It's
over the top rope.
Family show. I want to talk about Samoa Joe versus Hook.
Okay. Did you watch it?
So unfortunately, no, I still have not watched all of it because I can't find a good full version of it that I like, that I'm happy with. I'm very picky when it comes to that.
They don't do it. Hulu don't have or do you have to record that? I know they do
I didn't think they
live.
were on Hulu.
Yeah, that's how I watch it every night.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go look at Hulu. I just normally go to YouTube for all my AEW stuff.
You know, they're on Hulu. I think they do because they have, yes, they do have replays on Hulu. Yes. So, yeah.
Okay. So I'll go. I'll see if I like that because sometimes it's way too edited. Anyway, that's why I stopped watching Raw on Hulu. Anyway, besides the point. When I tell you that, in my opinion, I think this match made Hook of what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And while yes, Hook was not successful in his defense, I mean, in his attempt to gain the title, I think that it did everything the right way. It finally took this kid where like, yeah, he would go, 25-1 or whatever it was,
Right.
But he was the FTW champion, where it's like, okay, great, I get it. It's a belt that your dad created back in the the 90s, but it went away for 30 years, and it only got brought back because of you.
Right. Well, no, Starks had it first, right? but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the end goal was it was going to go to Hook.
Right.
So, okay, but I think that Hook really proved himself, and even through the vignettes and the call outs and the different things leading up to that match. And Samoa Joe did a phenomenal job putting him over, making him look better than, because he is naturally talented.
Yep.
But making him look better than he already is. I think it was so well done and well executed. And it's honestly a match I'm really, really excited to sit down and watch.
I mean, not gonna lie, my favorite spot in that entire match was the Muscle Buster of 1. He hits the Muscle Buster and literally.
That's a spot, but now for a father to watch his son in the ring, Taz had a sense of pride. But also for a father to see his son, there's supposed to be a Uranagi through a table spot that is super, super stiff to where Hook just catches, like he almost catches the edge of the table and it still falls. But it's like when you watch it, it's stiff. It's not.
It's cringeworthy for the father.
It's definitely cringe.
That was on the AEW highlight. That was the first thing I saw.
Yeah,
very first thing, because I have karaoke on Wednesday nights, so I never catch AEW live. And I was like, oh, I think it's almost time for the main event, or main event should be going off. Let me jump in on Twitter and see what I can look at. And that's the very first thing I see. And I'm like, oh, we're going here. Great.
Wasn't the muscle, but he couldn't use the Muscle Buster in WWE for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Oh, that's because he did use it for a little bit after he ended up injuring TJ with the Muscle Buster. Remember, that's what put TJ out.
Yeah,
he did use it right there near the end, I think, but he used it sparingly. It's kind of
it was kind of one of those like last resort,
ultimate finisher type thing.
Yeah. So very excited for that. This Matt and Nick Jackson thing. Did anybody see the?
Oh, you mean the shots that were taken?
No. So I don't know what you're referring to, but on Twitter, they said please use our legal names now, and they've changed it to where I think it's like Matthew and Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, they're leaning into the EVP thing, which I think it's almost like I think they're trying to their take on what Vince McMahon did. Kind of like they're leaning into that. Hey,
I can see that. I could absolutely see that.
Yeah, like how they told Renee, you got paid this week. Did you, like, you know what I mean? Like we started this to have this platform to sign. Like they're starting to lean into that more, which is just snobby heels type stuff. But it's just like his wife left the company. I guess you can have. You think why lean into now when you represent the company when your wife just left? Everybody knows that the dirt shit, like the IWC all knows that shit, right? So it's like it's just odd. Like there's no rhyme or reason. You go away, you come back, you went from wearing Jordans and shit to now wearing suits. Still wearing Jordans because it's just.
And you guys look like yin and yang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Part of that promo, they were taking shots, but not taking shots at like people like Punk talking about bringing these older people in, these old past legends wrestlers, and basically being punks.
Yeah.
Oh, they were taking shots without taking shots
at themselves.
Right now, I mean, they're subliminal shots.
Whatever.
You have to watch the whole, but yeah, like Pete said, subliminal shots. It's like, we didn't cross that line, so legally we're fine.
Yeah. Right.
And then Cora Jade is out
for a year.
Yeah, she is out for the remainder of the year.
Did you see who took her spot in the 20 women battle royal?
Yes, I did.
I didn't. I missed that.
All right, so this is before you joined in this very ring.
Okay.
Remember how we would do those shows from that independent wrestling promotion, the Mission Pro Wrestling?
Yeah.
Well, while we were there, we interviewed. Oh my God, I blanked on her last name.
Maddie Renkowski.
I said Renkowski in my head, like that's not right. Maddie Renkowski, who just debuted on NXT, They're calling her Ren. Am I reading that right?
I don't think it's Ren. I thought it was something else.
Hold on, because I saw it and I got really, really excited.
She walked onto NXT last week. A brief just walk on. I think it. And then this week, because Cora Jade being injured, being out, they needed a replacement. We'll insert Maddie. She was, I think, the last woman eliminated before the Fatal 4-Way started.
Ren Sinclair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, and what's crazy is when we interviewed her, I remember saying, and I think it was when she was on the air with us or whatever have you. We'll have to go back and we can see if we can find that interview. I remember saying that she's going, because we watched her match that night. It was Bougie Reality, right? That was the name of the tag team. And I remember saying that I truly believe her and even Kylan King are the future of professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And now to see her on NXT, see her on the on the big stage and everything like that, it's so satisfying. It's incredible. So hats off to her. Very good job. Congratulations.
I was excited.
Cannot wait to say when she's NXT Women's Champion in a few months. We interviewed her. We have to have that pulled.
Nice.
Post that out there. All right. Does anybody else have anything else before we wrap this bad boy up and get out of here? No.
Nick Sirianni should be fired. Okay, that I almost want to say that. Sorry.
I was about to say, what happened? Our boys didn't show up on Monday.
The coach hasn't shown up.
Do what?
The coach hasn't shown up since the season started.
So I look at all these show criterias. When I tell you that is not a question you want to ask right now, that is not a question you want to ask.
Oh, don't worry. I've been getting roasted all week at work. What happened to the Eagles? It's all been Eagles. I said they didn't show up. Leave me alone.
Quasi breaking news.
Uh-oh.
If I'm understanding this correctly. So there's certain reporters, and just like wrestling, you got reporters who are more corporate based. They get their news more from the companies themselves, and then you have the reporters that kind of get their news from people from talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this reporter, her name is Josina Anderson. She has more, and she's more in tune with the players from the player side, and then not so much the corporate side of it, executive. But she just says HR brought up Nick's name while flushing through potential coordinator prospects within the last 40 hours. That's a mustard seed glimpse. Okay, y'all, good night. So Jake Friel, who's on the show with me, I said, he's talking about Sirianni or like Nick who? He said Sirianni. So that means when they're starting to hear these circles about coordinators, Nick's name is coming up, which means potentially that he could be relieved of his duties. And I don't ever want to see anyone lose a job, but listen, here's the thing. If you don't approve at something, there's not one thing you can hang your hat on that you're doing better at the end of the season that you weren't doing at the beginning of the season. It's like watching somebody in the ring. I'm trying to think of somebody. Like Nia's first one. You watch her in the ring, and even still, because I said up to this point, she hasn't hurt anybody. But watching Nia's run in the ring to when the first time, to when she started, to when she left, she never got better. She never protected better. So that's kind of what we're watching. Like, so why are you still around, fam? Oh, another name, Royal Rumble women's surprise entrance before we get out of here, Raquel Rodriguez. Maybe if her health is clear, if she's not having allergies, is a bitch, bro. I'm just gonna say it like that. They could do certain things to people, and yeah, they have not been nice to her, to say the least.
So with that, guys, we are going to get out of here. We want to thank all our sponsors. We want to thank Carlino's for sponsoring our Women's Royal Rumble segment. We want to thank Royal Billiards for sponsoring our Men's Royal Rumble segment. And we want to thank Allen's Travel for sponsoring the entire show. Make sure you guys check out all our shows every single week, every single day. There's something for everybody. You can catch Pete Evans on Tuesdays on Birds of a Feather. God help you with the rest of this football season. There's just no Cowboys. And we will be back next Friday night for preview predictions for the Royal Rumble. Mark your calendars. We will be live for the Royal Rumble. Are you joining us for that?
For a portion of it, yes.
Okay. So So we will be live for the Royal Rumble on Saturday. We'll probably start about 10 minutes before the show does. So, guys, we will see you next week. Until then, tell somebody you love them. Peace, love, and joy. We're out.